what we have heard from talking to some of the campaigners, the protesters here, is really that they feel that the government has cut them out of the process, essentially, that these were islands where their ancestors, their mothers, their fathers were born, and it is somewhere that they feel they should have a say in what goes on and what happens next, and they don't feel that their rights would be protected by Mauritius in terms of moving to Mauritius. So they feel that they have essentially been cut out of the whole process, and that is what this legal claim was really all about. Look, what happens now? Well, we will wait to see what the legal process plays out as. The judge has indicated in that courtroom that he will not be allowing any appeals to it. So that does suggest that in the immediate future, the government may well be able to go ahead in the coming hours to sign that agreement with Mauritius. What it means in the days ahead, though, I think is still unclear whether there can be an appeal to a higher court, because, of course, this treaty still needs to go through Parliament. So there would still be a period of time anyway before this all becomes formally signed off and approved by MPs as well. So whether there are any further bumps in the road or legal challenges that can be put in remains to be seen. The judge is still giving his full judgment in court, working through case law principles at the moment. But this was always framed by campaigners here as something of a David and Goliath battle. So I think whilst they were hopeful that this may put the whole case on ice for more weeks or months perhaps, I think they were pretty clear-eyed about the challenges that they were facing, because this was essentially a deal that was backed by the UK government, that was backed by Donald Trump in the Oval Office. You saw him speaking about this when Keir Starmer visited earlier this year, and it's backed, of course, by the Mauritian government as well. So they were up against real sort of geopolitical forces that are beyond the control, I guess, of many of the individuals here. But there is deep anger and deep concern here that really somewhere that they see as their homeland, the place where their parents, their ancestors came from, has been handed away with little interaction, with little consultation with the people that are being directly affected by it. That's really what this legal challenge was all about. But it does appear that the judge has now sided with the government, and the arguments potentially that were made by the government lawyer that has been acting for the Foreign Office in there, when he essentially said that it's not for a court and legal action to stand in the way of the government exercising its right to sign treaties with other countries. So for now, it looks like the government will be able to continue. They had hoped to do it this morning. They may well now decide that they want to proceed this afternoon with finalising that agreement.
Yeah, they may well do. Well, in the last few minutes then, Rob, the judge there has allowed the government to continue and conclude its negotiations over the Chagos Islands following that early morning injunction that was put in place and following those legal wranglings inside the High Courts. As you say, we now await the moment when the Prime Minister, as was planned from this morning, will conduct that virtual signing ceremony to sign back the Chagos Islands, the islands in the Indian Ocean, back to the country of Mauritius. Now, as part of this deal, as Rob was saying, that was originally begun, the negotiations originally begun by the Conservative Party, Conservative government, following a UN ruling back in 2019, the island of Diego Garcia, where there is a US military base, will remain for the use of Britain for the next 99 years. Now, the judge had temporarily blocked the UK government and Keir Starmer signing over the Chagos Islands to Mauritius following an injunction, following an appeal put in place by two Chagossian women backed by this organisation, which is known as the Great British PAC. It's a political grouping that seeks to try and challenge things that they see as not being in the national interest of the country. And as you will have seen, there has been some criticism of this decision by members of the opposition. Well, Rob's still outside the High Court. And Rob, I think you've been able to speak to some of the people who've decided to gather there.
Yeah, let's have a chat with Misli Mandarin. We talked to him an hour or two ago. He's been here campaigning. He's part of the Biot citizen group as well. So it looks like the judge has come down in favour of the government. So this agreement will be signed, it looks like, if not today, in the near future. What's your reaction?
We're very disappointed, but the fight continues. We've been fighting more than 50 years. Like I said earlier, no retreat, no surrender. We will fight to the end. Keir Starmer got the fight. The Chagossian, we are very, very aware of it. And then we will never let our island, a British island, to go to Mauritius.
So you hope that there's further legal action you're hoping that could still stop this?
Definitely. Further legal action, further action from the Chagossian as well. We will try to talk to the government again. If it don't listen to us, we are ready to go to the fight to the end.
Thank you very much. Thanks for talking to us today, Mr. Thank you very much. Well, it does look like that is the decision, the outcome of this court case, that the government can go ahead. Of course, there are always opportunities to appeal in higher courts as well, so we will wait to see and hear from the legal teams that have been acting inside of what they plan to do next, whether there are any more opportunities or avenues that they can pursue to stop this taking place. But for now, anyway, it looks like the way being cleared for the government to sign this. Now we wait to hear from Number 10 and the government about whether they plan to do that today or whether it's going to come another day.